ऑलवेज कैमरा का यहाँ देखना होता है.
Good morning, I am Ajay Kumar and welcome you on NYS Talk Show. Today we are going to meet Mr. Harshvardhan, who has completed his master's degree from London School of Economics. He was an alumni of DPS RK Puram and he has completed his graduation from Venkateshwar College of Delhi. He was a brilliant student throughout and he was a state topper in 10th board exams as well. Good morning, sir. We welcome you on NYS Talk Show. Sir, we would like to know your life journey starting from your schooling because my viewers want your suggestions.
Well, my schooling days were quite normal. They were very regular. I was a good student throughout, not because I worked harder than my friends, but because I was pretty gifted when it came to studies. So I won't be able to give you very good advice on how you should go about studying, how hard you should study, because that depends on how easily you learn things. But I would say one thing, that what you do outside of classroom is much more important as far as skills that you're going to take over from school to college and beyond are concerned. So I would suggest that you stay very active outside of class and pursue your interests, because they're really going to help you later on.
Okay, sir. That was a very good advice. Sir, as you all know, you were a state topper in 10th board. How could you manage your studying? How could you prepare your examinations?
Well, because if I didn't, my mother will hit me a lot. But I wasn't a very regular student. I mean, I didn't study throughout the whole year, every day. I started preparing in earnest a month before my board exams. But the reason why I could manage it without studying regularly was because I paid attention in class. Your classes aren't always going to be interesting. Some classes will be very good. Because of the subject, or maybe your teacher is not good. Both are valid reasons. But if you don't pay attention in class, it means that the study that you're going to do there, you'll have to make up for it later on. That's going to eat up into your playing time or other things that you might want to do with your time. So I would suggest that you pay attention in class, and that is your first revision, right there.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Sir, we came to know that initially you wanted to become an engineer, but suddenly you changed your mind and you thought to become an economist. Can we know the reason behind it?
Yeah, I started studying economics from standard 8, which is quite early. Most people start from 11th, if they at all study economics. So I was always interested in economics, and the difference between engineering and economics, I thought engineering was it's not people-centric at all. It's devoid of any humanity, you might say. And I wanted a bit of both. I wanted academic rigor, which economics has. It has science, but there's also a very huge people aspect of it. You're studying human behavior. So it was a marriage of those two things, which was perfect for me at that time. And I found it very interesting. So that's why.
Okay, sir. So we came to know that you participated in many other extracurricular activities like debates, extempores, and poem competition, and you won a lot of prizes in it. How could you manage your extracurricular activities apart from your studies also?
Yeah, as I told you, even since school I was very interested in things outside of classroom, as I said, and that continued into college. I would say one thing: if you are in an arts college, if you're studying arts courses or social sciences, even sciences, you will get some time off from your studies. It's not as rigorous as maybe the other professional courses. So it is very important to pick up these soft skills, which you would get if you interact more and visit these events. More importantly, this is probably the last time you will have such a huge peer group, because when you get into a job, you have a very small group of colleagues and you won't have such events. So it's very important to venture out when you're in college. You pick up skills like communication skills, you gain how to influence other people. Even if you're very bad at it, at worst you're going to meet new people, which can't be that bad, right? That's why I would suggest everyone to make sure that you participate in these things.
Thank you, sir. So, we came to know that you were the copy editor of the DUB newspaper, which is still famous in the Delhi University. So, can you share the experience in being the copy editor of DUB newspaper?
Yeah, DUB was one of the high points of my college. I really enjoyed the experience there. I joined DUBeat at the end of my second year in college, so stayed in the organization for a year, which is not a lot of time. But I was always involved in the organization because I knew people in it, right? I knew people, so I would write for them off and on, even though I was not part of the organization per se. So when I joined it, I already knew most of them inside, and so therefore I was made into a copywriter very quickly because they already knew me and knew that I could contribute. And it was a great experience because the role not only gave me a chance to show off my writing skills, which I enjoy a lot. So I got to write every day, every week about things that I cared about, my opinions, stories, poems, whatever. But there was also the responsibility of it, because the copywriter, you are managing at least 20 people under you. And if you're not responsible, they're not going to be responsible. Because you realize DUBeat is a student organization, so there is no hierarchy per se. You can't fire people. You have to talk to them and understand what they're doing, and you have to lead by example. That's the only way you're going to achieve efficiency. So, very, very formative experience being in a responsible position in such a horizontal organization, one might say.
Okay, sir. So, why did you want to do master's degree from London School of Economics and not from India?
London School of Economics has a charm that is probably matched only by a handful of universities in the whole world. I mean, if you're an economist, you know about London School of Economics. There's no two ways about it. You might know Amartya Sen is also alumni. He's not an alumni, he's a member of its Asia Foundation there. So there was always this charm of London School of Economics. It's a brilliant institution. So it wasn't as much going to London as it was going to London School of Economics. London School of Economics might very well have been in India, and it won't change a thing, would it? So, and it was a great experience. I think I learned a lot of things there. I think for the first time I realized that intelligence won't get you to your goal. You still need the rigor. And coming from an education system in India which is not as rigorous as say a place like Russia, you realize that you're at a disadvantage straight away at the global scale. So it made me work the extra mile, work harder to make sure that I make up for the difference. So I think India should look at the standards set by these universities and follow it, especially Delhi University, which is one of the best universities in India.
Okay, sir. So, can you tell me what are the difficulties in arranging your fee? We also came to know that you got a scholarship. So, can you tell me how it helped you?
Yeah, LSE has quite a good funding program for students. They do their level best. So I think a third of my tuition fee was discounted, and the rest of it I had to take a loan from SBI. My father helped a lot in that, and it was quite smooth actually, thanks to my father. So wasn't much of an issue.
Thank you, sir, for the time for us. Hello, this is Ajit Kumar. You're watching the sensational news of Ajit Kumar. You will see the next news on next week, same time, and don't forget to see it. Thank you.